9, Fletcher 7. That one in the fourth. So we got a couple of tight games. Ponte Vedra beating Episcopal 24-0 in the third. Orange Park over Ridgeview 25-7. Andrew Jackson 19. Providence Stallions 14. Stallions hanging tough against a good Jackson team. Bishop Kenny 22. Inglewood 12. University Christian beating Zephyr Hills 27-13 in the second half. Miami Carroll City up here against Oakleaf. So a couple Miami teams in the area. And Miami Carroll City beating Oakleaf 30-14. Middleburg 20, Eastside 14. Creekside up on the Nice Panthers 20-14. I was at that game too. And that one's coming down to the wire. Vieira over Baker County 24-22 at the moment. Eustis over Palatka 23-20. So, again, some close games here in week 2. Hawthorne winning 16-0 over PK Young. Matanzas 7-0 over Atlantic. Gainesville 7-6 over Bishop Moore. What else do we have? Bishop Snyder losing to Oak Hall 12-7 right now at the half. Trinity Christian up big over Ribault 23-0. Bowles against Columbia. Bowles up 18-7 at the half on the road. That's a game that we'll talk a lot about. Up there in Southeast Georgia, Glenn with the lead at 35-0 at halftime. So those are some of the early scores that we're getting in. We'll continue to do that throughout, the next 90 minutes or so, and then we'll take you right to the Friday Night Blitz on the TV side of things. Welcome into the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, Hall of Fame coach, former Jackson, Atlantic Coast, Ed White coach in the area. Hello, Coach. How you doing here on this second Friday of the season?
All right, doing good, Brent. Doing good. Getting ready to get through these scores and get these games going on in week 2. We got a bunch of unbeatens playing. We got a couple teams that don't have wins playing against each other in week 2. So somebody's got to go.
Did you go anywhere tonight, or did you stay at home?
Today I was going to venture down to St. Augustine and Menendez, and then it was got run away early in the first quarter, so I got out of there pretty fast.
Yeah.
Didn't stay around too much. That was a pretty good game by St. Augustine after not having to play last week because of COVID and coming back in, but they're up on them pretty good now, running clock going into fourth.
Yeah, running clock 37-0. That was their game of the week at Menendez, St. Augustine, and St. Augustine put them on them. Marcel Robinson down there. We'll have a lot of highlights of that one as that game is just wrapping up down there in St. Johns County. A quick one with the running clock. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, any of the other scores catch your attention? Bowles and Columbia, we talked about this earlier today on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Good battle there at halftime, 18-7. Bowles looks good on the road.
Yeah, that Bowles running game is going to give them some issues. And I just, again, Bowles going on the road, that's not going to, they don't strike fear. They're not afraid to go play anywhere. So I don't really feel that that score is going to be any indication, but Columbia's got to get something going, or that could end up being get away from them a little bit there too.
Yeah,
also
be early in the second half will be you figure will be a little important there on the Columbia side of things, especially right now. You're taking a live look at Bartram Trail against Miami, Columbus out of Miami. And that's a good matchup, Coach. And so far, so good for Bartram Trail in the fourth quarter. Their defense getting it done, 12-3.
Yeah, that's a really good. We got 2 really good Miami teams up here. Columbus, and who was in the won the state championship, I want to believe 2 years ago, and then Carroll City over there playing at Oakleaf. So you got 2 really good games. And Bartram, as they do, they're very well coached, very prepared. Again, they're not afraid to play anybody anywhere either, and they're having a good run at it right now.
Yeah, so 12-3, that's the one you're keeping an eye on now. Terry Parker, 9-7 over Fletcher. That's an interesting game. Keep an eye on as well. And we'll continue to update some of the scores. Orange Park up big over Ridgeview, 31-7. Mandarin has scored. It's now 14-6 over Spruce Creek. That would be a nice win for Mandarin and a bounce-back, Coach, over Atlantic after losing to Atlantic Coast a week ago.
Yeah, that'd be a really big win for them. Spruce Creek usually comes in. They played down there in the Jamboree 2 weeks ago and gave Sandalwood all they wanted. And so for Mandarin to get back on top, and after losing last week, sort of heartbreaker on that last-second field goal to Atlantic Coast, that'd be a good one if it could stay that way for Mandarin.
We'll see. A couple of observations from last week as we'll continue to keep you updated on some of the games going on in the area as you peek in on the Bartram Trail game. Bartram leads 12-3 over Columbus out of Miami, the Columbus Explorers. And we noted a couple of things. Well, you did, really. You sent this to me midweek, some observations. A lot better running back play than quarterback play, at least from a yardage standpoint. A lot of the offense went to the running attack in week number 1 around here, which is a little bit surprising considering over the last handful of years, everything's gone to the spread, the passing game, get the ball out quick, get it in playmakers' hands, and we had way more 200-yard rushers than we did 200-yard passers.
Yeah, and like we talked earlier on the earlier show, it could be attributed. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks returning starters back. So you've got a lot of inexperienced young guys starting for the first time. So maybe the game plan was sort of a little bit keep it a little close to the vest, a lot of bubble screens, a lot of quick game, not taking too many chances. But only having one 300-yard passer last week, that really caught me by surprise. And, and then the weather, remember, we had a lot of rain last week, too. So guys could have made a big impact in the run game. And coaches made a change their philosophy going into week 1.
Yeah, so just to expand on what Coach is saying here on the Blitz Scoreboard show, Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, 4 area kids ran for over 200 yards, 2 area kids passed for over 200 yards. I mean, that's just a little bit surprising in terms of where the balance of the offense was. 10 rushers over 150 yards last week. That might not be that atypical with how many good backs we have in the area, how many good teams in the area, but it's really the lack of passing. And you said it, inexperienced quarterbacks, commitment to the running game, maybe weather just early in the season, or maybe this is just the trend, Is there a chance this is an inexperienced, not lack of talent, but just so inexperienced that the quarterback play might be a little bit down here in 2021? There are a lot of folks with new quarterbacks.
Yeah, and really the experience factor, especially going in with some coaches. We didn't have as many coaching changes, so you still have a lot of guys on the sideline with their same philosophy and everything. But going into week 1, they may have adjusted that a little bit again because of the inexperienced quarterback. So we're going to play through the first half, try to keep it close, sort of find out what we think he can and can't do, and then maybe open it up a little bit in the second half. So that's what caught my eye was the lack of passing game in week 1 really caught my eye.
Listen, you've done this for a long time. You had a lot of week 1s to week 2s. The cliche is you get better week 1 to week 2. In the NFL or in any athlete, it's season 1 to season 2. Do you believe in that cliche? And what changed? Were those the biggest adjustments that you made, maybe week 1 to week 2 over the years coming off that first game?
Yeah, week 1 to week 2, I think is a big measuring stick of where you're at. And we talked last week about trying to just win in week 1 was so big because there's so many factors that you don't even can get into. But usually most teams make a jump from week 1 to week 2 and week 2 to week 3. Part of that is because you get more film on your opponent who you're playing. You go into week 1, you got maybe a half of a scrimmage, maybe a half of the spring. Nowadays, half those kids played in the spring aren't at that school anyways anymore. So, but as you get into week 2 and week 3, you start to pick up more film. You get to watch more film, more tendencies. So you do a better job preparing your kids for what's coming at them.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And the film part makes a lot of sense. You're just trying to figure out the opposition a little bit, right? I mean, who are these teams? What are they going to do? And that probably does take a couple weeks.
Yeah, and especially with new quarterbacks, if you're at a place like Bartram, they're always going to keep a quarterback, 2 or 3 of them at least. So, you sort of know they're not going to change as much. But some of the other schools, they might change a little bit and tweak it. They got a running back that's a little bit more. So maybe they're going to be a little bit more power run or get you a couple more different formations that you haven't seen them run in the past. So as you play more and more film comes out, you get more familiar with what the coach is trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up a little bit later on the show, I've committed to the uncommitted, brought to you by Baker Sports. That will be on the way a little bit later on as we try to highlight kids that are being overlooked on the recruiting game, most likely due to COVID over the last couple of years, and the recruiting game has been thrown off a bit, but just a lot of talent in the area too. So, last week it was Tavio Toller. This week we'll take it to another running back. We won't tell you who it is just yet, but that's coming up presented by Baker Sports in just a bit. We'll also have our Blitz QB High Five. We rank the 5 quarterbacks in the area, and that list is ever-changing every week. So we'll keep our eye on that one as well. Some of the games to watch: Atlantic Coast hosting Riverside. Well, Riverside's really putting it on CHS tonight, 40-7. Bowls in Columbia, it's 18-7 at halftime in favor of Bowls. Bartram Trail, you're watching that one right now live via the NFHS network right here on ESPN 690. Bartram Trail up 12-3 over Columbus out of Miami. Trinity and Reboot. Trinity up 23-0. Sandalwood Buchholz. Buchholz up 21-7 at Sandalwood. Rains is putting it on First Coast 33-0 at last check. And Episcopal was losing. Bishop Kenny will go check in with some of those games. Bishop Kenny playing Inglewood. So a couple of those games are coming up. I want to talk real quick before we get to a break here early in the show. Coach Sullivan. Menendez, St. Augustine, new coach at Menendez, of course. St. Augustine, same old thing. Brian Braddock, he was our Friday Night Blitz Coach of the Year a year ago. They made a deep run into the postseason. They don't play last week. I mean, it's just an expectation that they're going to be there again, right, for St. Augustine. I mean, every single year, whether it's Joey Wiles, Brian Braddock, they're a machine.
Yeah, they get, their program's pretty much established, but and the kids that they have, they sort of have them ingrained, and they've been there a long time. Remember, Coach Braddock played for Coach Wiles way back, and now he's taken over a few years ago. And boy, they had the one season where they struggled a little bit 2 years ago, but boy, they've just sort of come back, and they're just getting after it right now. And they do a really good job coaching. Have their kids prepared, and they're tough and physical going in. So, I didn't think that one was going to be a very good game. I just thought that they had too much coming back and not playing last week. They had a little advantage over Menendez.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's a little bit of a gap there. What's crazy about St. Augustine is I think it goes all the way back. I forget the exact statistic on this, but goes all the way back to like 2001, or maybe it's not that far ago, 2003, whatever it is. It's way back. It's like 9 or 11 straight quarterbacks that they've sent to play at the collegiate level.
Right.
I mean, pretty wild. And you don't think of that, right? You think more physical brand of football. You don't necessarily think of like high flying, pass it all over the yard. You think fundamentals, physical, super atmosphere down there, tough. But the quarterback play has been terrific. I mean, maybe none better than Austin Reed, who won a national championship out there at West Florida. And they're, I think, preseason number 1 as they get going this weekend. And Austin Reed's out there. And, they got quarterbacks over the last 15, 20 years sprinkled all over collegiate football.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. And they do a good job of, mixing the run and pass. Some not just play action stuff or RPO stuff. They got a really good throwing to spots, good command, and they usually have a young man that plays quarterback that's there. He's a 2-year starter or a 3-year starter, and then when he goes, there's another kid that steps in who's a 10th grader, and he's a 3-year starter. So they've done a really good job over the years with their program at keeping their kids there and building the program to what it is, one of the top ones in North Florida.
Let's give you some scores updates. You're watching Bartram Trail and Columbus out of Miami, 12-3 still last check. Bartram Trail holding it down on the defensive side of things. Terry Parker 9-7 over Fletcher. University Christian 34-13 over Zephyr Hills. That one in the fourth. Riverside over Atlantic Coast 40-7. Paxson 6-0 over Wolfson. Buchholz has scored again. It's now 28-7 over Sandalwood. Ponte Vedra scored again, 34-0 over Episcopal. Spruce Creek just scored a field goal, so it's Mandarin 14-9 over Spruce Creek. Let's see what else we have here. I don't want to get to go too far back because then I'll get into last week and start mixing up the scoreboards. Orange Park, Ridgeview, 31-7 OP. Andrew Jackson and Providence, 19-14 at last check. Bishop Kenny, 22. Englewood, 12. Miami Carroll City, 30-20 over Oakleaf. Middleburg beating Eastside, 20-14. The Creekside Knights have added a field goal down there at Nice. It's 23-14. So those are some of the scores coming in here early in the Blitz Scoreboard Show. But we are just getting started. Let's take a break here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. When we come back, we give you our Blitz QB high five. We're talking some quarterbacks. Who's off to a nice start in the area? Who should you keep an eye on? One of them sneaks in from the southeast Georgia area, and we'll tell you who they are and in what order. Coming up, Action Sports Jacks, ESPN 690, the Blitz Scoreboard Show. And a reminder, you're listening to it if you're in your car, but you can watch it in live video. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Go find it. Check it out. One-of-a-kind kind of show. Looking forward to taking you all the way until 10:25 in the Friday Night Blitz on TV on Fox 30. That's coming up at 10:30 as well with the entire Action Sports Jacks department. We'll be back, including a battle of the concessions. Casey went to a concession stand. I've got food in front of me. Can't wait until that part of the show. I bet Coach doesn't have any food in front of him. We'll be back on ESPN 690. If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes. Well, get the easy garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at easygaragesolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
If you're anything like me, then cars were an important part of your childhood growing up. Literally, some of my very first memories involved helping my grandpa build old cars. If you're into cars, then you know that the technology is always evolving, which is why there is a demand for well-trained automotive technicians. As a student in the automotive technology program at JTech, you'll be learning basic automotive maintenance, diagnostic procedures, and effective repair methods while using testing equipment and specialized tools. The program also includes training on electrical, HVAC, engine performance, suspension, steering, brake systems, and transmission diagnosis and repair. Their shop settings are designed to represent the actual automotive environments that you will be experiencing when you get into the automotive industry. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks. All right, welcome back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Hall of Fame coach, analyst. Love having Coach on and for all the insight, the analysis, and walk us through some scores. Of course, he's got all his buddies in the coaching circles texting him and updating scores and hopefully calling into the show in just a little bit. We'll take you all the way until about 10:25 here, right up until really 10:30 on ESPN 690. Again, a big reminder, if you're listening in your car, check out this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, because it's kind of cool. We got the running scoreboard up there. We'll show you some video and some updated graphics. We're about to do that in a moment. So a lot of fun here on the show. Casey doing a great job. Casey already also went out to the concession stands, too. So we have a battle of the concession stands starting tonight here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Looking forward to that. Coach, you just texted me 26-14, Jackson over Providence. Was that a final or just an updated score? Do you know?
Updated score in the 4th.
Okay, so that's going into the 4th. Actually, Providence doing a nice job hanging in there. Jackson's tough. And after Providence lost 31-0 last week to Bishop Kenny, pretty nice performance so far for the Stallions.
Yeah, I mean, again, you get a little bit more film and they get a little bit more prepared. And I'm sure they wanted to come out and have a good showing, knowing that, they didn't play very well last week and everything. But I did get a text, Brent. You might find this interesting. This is from South Florida. A buddy of mine down there texted me and said at halftime, Deerfield Beach and Dillard are playing. And the Deerfield Beach kids lined up on the sideline and just walked off the field and left. And the game's over.
Really?
And they said that they had an issue with a player on the sideline at Deerfield technically getting a positive test during the game. It just came in, so they stopped the game and walked off the field.
Wow.
With Dillard up 21-0 at half.
How about that? And by the way, I think Stewart told me tonight there are a handful of cancellations tonight. So teams are dealing with this. But that's in a unique way when you're walking off the field because of it. COVID continues to impact the sports and the high school sports and collegiate sports and everything to some degree, and we're trying to avoid it as much as possible, but it is happening. That's an interesting situation down South Florida. And again, handful of games had to be canceled this week. We know our game of the week with St. Augustine, who just won 44-0 over Menendez. They couldn't play last week due to it. We had to get some reschedules last week late because of COVID. So it's going to be a juggling act all season long for many teams, and you just hope they can play as many games as possible. Let's take a look right now at our Blitz QB High Five. We do this each and every week here on the show, and we were just talking about the quarterbacks and how there wasn't a lot of 200-yard passers, never mind 300 and 400-yard passers in the area in week number 1. Didn't mean there wasn't good quarterback play. And we're going to lead off with Chris Calhoun, the number 1 position. He didn't throw it a bunch last week, Coach, but he did run it a bunch for 3 touchdowns and had a pretty nice evening. He's a good-looking player committed to UConn.
Yeah, and like we talked about last week, he's really taken a good grasp of what they're doing offensively. I want to say he rushed for like 147 and 3 touchdowns and threw for like 125 or something to that effect. So again, he still was accounted for almost 300 yards of offense, except it wasn't all in the air. A lot with his legs. Coach Geis talked about him last week having a great grasp of what's going on, and he's really taken that offense on his shoulders. And has to do a lot. Sort of as he goes, they go.
Yeah, so Chris Calhoun comes in number 1. Thomas Castellanos up there in Ware County. He's a guy that leads the area in passing in terms of yardage, but he also has played a couple of games. But he's a good-looking quarterback. I don't know how much you know about Castellanos up there in Ware County, but a good player up there for Ware.
Yeah, they do a really good job in those South Georgia teams, and I haven't really watched any, but that'll give me something to watch this week, Brett, while I'm sitting on the beach, sitting on the deck overlooking the beach. It'll give me something to watch, the guy from Ware County. Yeah,
no doubt about it. And now we go on our Blitz QB High Five, and we keep going down the list. And James Resar from Bishop Kenny, again, another guy that did it mostly with his legs. I think he passed for just about 100 yards. He was pretty efficient last week in a 31-0 win, but it's the legs. He's a good-looking athlete, just a sophomore for Bishop Kenny. It looks like they've got a good one.
Yeah, really good. Good command of what they're trying to do. He rushed for 180 on like 11 carries. That's up like 16 yards, yards a carry. And then he threw for, like you said, like about 114. But again, good command on what they're doing. They spread it, move you around. They spread it to run it, and he's got a good command. Did a good job last week.
Yeah. By the way, one thing about Castellanos up in Ware County, I wanted to mention, and I didn't. UCF commit. By the way, the Knights looked pretty good last night. They've got some good quarterbacks over the years now, from Mackenzie Milton to Dylan Gabriel. So Castellanos, that's pretty. Heady stuff to be heading to UCF and play the QB position. So we'll keep an eye on the young man out of Ware County. So after Resar, Bishop Kenny, then we go to First Coast, Larry Edwards. He was the only other guy over 250 yards passing, and that happened in a loss for the Bucks.
Yeah, he threw for he was about 50% passing, but he threw for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns. They end up coming up short in that game, 23-21, a school out of Colorado. They played down in Orlando, down at the Disney program down there. They have that high school showcase at Disney. But, Larry, and again, Larry, I believe is his second year starting there, played a bunch last year. And they've got some good weapons that he can throw to. But, he did a really good job. And that's what I said. That caught my eye, him being the only guy over 300 yards.
Yeah, that was a good observation on your part. And then I'll tell you what, here's a guy to go observe from Mandarin, Tremel Jones. He's just a freshman. I watched him play a little bit last week, and I texted Bobby Ramsey today. I said, hey, man, this kid's going to be a good player. Like, I could tell in 2 quarters of football. He's going to be a good player. And let's just say Bobby didn't deny that. I don't want to raise the bar too much for this young man and during our conversation, but this kid looks like he's going to be really good, Tremel Jones. It might be a learning curve early, Coach, but I got him in my top 5 after watching him play for Mandarin. His numbers were pretty good against Atlantic Coast in a 27-24 loss.
Yeah, he threw for 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. Starting a young quarterback, especially a freshman, again, in week 1, they probably were real playing it close to the cuff and trying to run the ball a little bit early in the first half. And then again, they got behind. So then they had to get the game plan going. And you're gonna hit or miss with those guys. They're going to do great things. The young freshmen playing on the varsity, they're going to make great, spectacular plays. And then they're going to throw the ball to the defensive end on a screen or throw the ball overthrow when the pressure gets to them. So it's good to get a young kid like that in that program. Those guys will get him coached up, but yeah, he'll have a real bright future.
Yeah, so those are your Blitz QB high 5 for week 2. Again, hey, it's not necessarily who's the best quarterback in the area. It's a couple of handful of guys to highlight who's playing pretty well coming off week 1. And keep your eye on these guys. Chris Calhoun from Sandalwood, Thomas Castellanos, the CF commit from Ware County, James Resar from Bishop County, just a sophomore, Larry Edwards from First Coast getting beat a little bit tonight, Tremel Jones from Mandarin. So the Mustangs up 14-9 over Spruce Creek. We'll update that Blitz QB high 5 each and every week here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Ponte Vedra with Episcopal 34-0 in the fourth. Fourth quarter scores: Paxson over Wilson as well. Bishop Kenny over Englewood 24-12. Terry Parker over Fletcher 9-7. Keep an eye on that one. That'd be a good win for Parker. University Christian over Zephyr Hills 34-13. Middleburg over Eastside 40-23. It's Eustis now beating Palatka 31-28. Good ball game down there in Palatka. And let's see, what else do we have here? Glenn over Winterboro, 35-14. Orange Park and Ridgeview, it's 31-7. Andrew Jackson, you got the updated score, Coach, because our scoreboard only has 19-14, at least the one I'm looking at. But you had it 26-14, Jackson in the fourth. So some of these scores might not be completely updated, although some do a better job than others, because Miami Carroll City and Oakleaf, that's starting to close the gap. I think when we got on the air, it might have been 30-13 or 30-14 Miami Carroll City. It's now 30-27 in the second half. Oakleaf climbing back into it. Really good football game. Hey, Nice not going away. Creekside's up 23-20. They had a 9-point advantage. They led it by 6 at halftime. But here comes Nice off that big win over Ponte Vedra last week. They got another rival in Creekside, 23-20. That place was jumping earlier tonight. I was down there for a little bit of it. Great crowd. The student section was outstanding for that. Vieira and Baker County, good game, Coach. 32-28. You know that area a little bit. Vieira, good program.
Yeah, Vieira's a good program. Now, Coach Bay used to be the coach there a couple years ago. The head coach at Baker County was the coach at Vieira, so he was there, and he left when became an AD for a year and then came up to Baker County 2 years ago, took over that job. So he's heading back home, probably seeing some people he hadn't seen in a little bit down there. And that's going to be a good game right there. That's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, it looks like it. 32-28 in the second half. Some other scores to tell you about. Let's see what just happened to Bowles. Up on Columbia now 25-7. We said Columbia might need a good early start to the second half. Turned around just the opposite way. Bowles looks like they might have put this thing away early in the second half, Coach.
Yeah, and like we said before, they're going to be well coached, and Columbia had to get something going to keep that offense off the field. And I bet when we look back on the stats tomorrow and everything, there'll be some turnovers in that game that went into Bowles' favor.
Yeah, that's usually a difference, especially on the road. Trinity Christian, they know how to get a turnover or two. Tough one for Ribault tonight, 29-0. Trinity Christian in the lead. St. Augustine had a running clock in our game of the week, 44-0 over Menendez. Wasn't really a game of the week. Didn't live up to it down there in St. Johns County, but credit to St. Augustine. They lead off the season with an impressive win tonight over Menendez, 44-0. Union County, Bradford, that's a nice game. 35-21, Union County in the lead. Sewanee over Westside, 9-6. We had Coach DeBose on last week. He's trying to pull one out on the road, which also would be a pretty impressive win.
Yeah, especially adding that game late. It was funny. I talked to him. I talked to him yesterday morning, and I gave him a little insight. They always play "Country Boy Can Survive" by Hank Williams Jr. when they come out and warm up. And they were in our district about 20 years ago when I was at Jackson, and we used to play that all week for our kids. So when they came out to warm up, our kids are singing the song and everything. So I gave him a little bit of that. So he was texting me like, "What was the name of that song again? I want to play that," like that kind of stuff. So, but that's a tribute to him not being afraid not only to lose a game to a rival that you had at home, but be able to get on the bus in short notice and head over to Live Oak Swanee, which is not an easy place to play.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Riverside over Atlantic Coast, 40-7. I think Casey has a couple of highlights that I was over there for that one for a bit, so we'll roll those here on the Blitz Scoreboard show. That one has gone final, 40-7. Coach Riverside, O.J. Small, what he continues to do, it's really impressive, and they got another nice win tonight on the road.
Yes, it was a pretty good game early on, and there was a real big turnover that Riverside. I don't know if it was a pick six or a fumble, scoop and score, and then it sort of got away from them a little bit right there. But yeah, they've got a lot of weapons. They can run it. They came out running the ball tonight. I believe the running back was up over 180 yards, and so. It looks like to me Atlantic Coast was probably trying to take away the pass, and they just came out and run them, and they're big. They got two big monster tackles, Riverside.
I tell you, Coach,
monster tackles.
Coach, they got a big tackle. I mean, you're right, two big ones, but one really, really big one. I mean, he is a monster, and that is tough for anybody to handle. Plus, I'll tell you this. Here's about Riverside's tough anyway. I mean, I just think OJ has done such a good job, creating like a winning culture. They just know how to win. And they're tough, and they played Plumber today at quarterback. And they have speed and that size and that toughness, though, because they can really get you on the outside. They put Jaheim Singletary, of course, who's the top corner in the class, but he also plays the offensive side of the ball sometimes, so they can do that. They can mix it up with athletes and power game. Like, they can play almost any style of ball if they need to.
Right, and they've got enough weapons, like, as you alluded to. They got enough weapons at quarterback, at running back. They can hurt you. The wideouts can hurt you, and they can score on defense too. So probably the least heralded area where they were really good last year is probably the defensive line. But their linebackers and their secondary is as good as anybody team around. This could be the year they can finally make that run and get over that hump.
Now, listen, they could have played Atlantic Coast anytime. Maybe this one gets away from Atlantic Coast. That's tough, though, coming off of such a big win a week ago to beat Mandarin for the first time in a long time, then have to come back and play at Riverside. I mean, hey, you got to bring it each and every week, but that's easier said than done.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. The kids are, they came in and they're high, and everybody's telling them, oh, hey, you guys are great. You guys are great. So you got to get them ready to go. You got to get them ready to go each week. Each week's different. Kids got to realize that when they get back in on Monday, man, it's over. We're into the next week. So, but yeah, this one sort of got away from them, and their schedule, Atlantic Coast's schedule is one of the better ones in the area. Not only they got Riverside, they'll get Fletcher down the road. Their district, they've got a really good district. So they're going to have their work cut out from them each week.
All right, so Riverside wins 40-7. Paxton with a nice win, 21-14 over Wilson. How about Hilliard? Beats up on Stanton 51-2. Buchholz comes to Sandalwood, Coach, 28-7. Nice win for Buchholz. Is that a surprise, 28-7 over Sandalwood? Or what are your thoughts on Sandalwood after the win over Fletcher, losing tonight at home?
No, not a surprise. The Buchholz guys, they've got one of the top wide receivers in the state, Quan Lee at Buchholz. And the coach's son, Whitmer, is the quarterback. The brother plays at Florida at wide receiver at Buchholz. So he's really done a nice job at that program, getting those kids moving forward and competing on a high level. And I believe Sandalwood and them they've played in the past. I know they were in the district at one time together, but they've played in the past. So not surprised at all on that score.
Yeah, so that's the latest there. Rains beats First Coast 39-0. Hey, Bartram, who you saw on our Blitz Scoreboard show, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, they win 12-6 over Columbus out of Miami. So, Bartram's another one of those teams. I was talking about Riverside a little bit like this, but Bartram can beat you in a lot of different ways over the years. And it'll be interesting to watch. They have a very good defense. They have a stout defense this year. They have some weapons on offense. Do they have enough in the passing game to win one of those kind of games if they need to at some point? We'll see. But they have, over the years, been able to beat you in a variety of ways, Coach.
Yeah, and they've got a good mix on offensive because they've got some big old guys up front, but defensively, they've got the Pollard kid committed to Michigan.
Yep.
They've got another defensive lineman, outside linebackers, Sagri Graham, that's committed to Cincinnati. So they've got a pretty good group of guys, and they've got a kid committed to Ole Miss, Cushman. That's a O-line, D-line type kid, and of course Weatherly's committed to Duke. So. And Denson's got all the schools in the state chasing him.
Yeah,
the All-American DB. So, I mean, they've got all kinds of kids. And defensively, I think this is the year defensively they're better than they are on offense. Usually they're outscoring people. You know what I mean? Usually they're outscoring people. They're winning 45, 35, and that. And I think this year they're gonna play really well on defense until the offensive catches up.
Yeah, that makes some sense, and that might be the way it goes. Sometimes that is the way it goes. St. Augustine wins 44-0 in our game of the week over Menendez. Bishop Kenny, that's gone final now, 24-12 over Inglewood. Bishop Kenny gets the win. Middleburg wins 40-23. As well. Casey, you got time for a little timeout, and then when we come back, we'll get some coaches on, some analysis. We also have our Committed to the Uncommitted, brought to you by Baker Sports, coming up as well. We'll introduce you to a young man from St. Johns County who would like to go play some college ball, might be overlooked a little bit. That's the nature of that segment. That is coming up here in just a bit. More scores, more highlights, more analysis, and a few more things on the way, including I might have a fried Oreo in front of me, Coach. Fried Oreo.
I like it. I didn't get one.
Yeah. We'd have to Uber that one down. It would be Uber Eats for you. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We call it the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We'll be right back.
Let's be honest. I'm in the AC business, and even I don't want to buy a new AC system. And yet, the only thing worse than spending money on a new AC is spending it and then not getting the comfort and performance you paid for. Whether it's not seeing the promised comfort or efficiency due to a sloppy install and bad ductwork, or having a home that still feels sticky from inadequate humidity control, or dealing with bad air quality, allergies, mold, or anything else, investing in a new system to not get the comfort you paid for is total turd buckets. And that's why Griffin Service offers a 12-month test drive on all Florida-rated AC systems. If you're not thrilled with your increased comfort and efficiency, we'll uninstall the system and refund you 100% of your money. And that's for up to 12 months. Install the system now, and you'll still be covered next summer. It's only fair. So, if you need a new system, buy it from the company that'll guarantee you the performance and comfort you're paying for at
GriffinService.com.
Action Sports Jax is hitting the road, and this Tuesday we'll be broadcasting live from J-Tech at 8813 Western Way near Bay Meadows and 95. Come by to say hello, take a tour, and see what life at J-Tech is really like. And while you're at it, come say what's up to me and Brent.
Start fall with everything to do business better during Dell Technologies Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories, plus free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
My name's Ashley Booth Norris. I am an emergency medicine physician. So COVID doesn't discriminate. Again, it affects people of every age, every race. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care who you are. It's affecting everyone. And so it's important for you to get vaccinated to protect yourself, those that you love, as well as everyone around you. We're racing against the clock here before the next variant comes around.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Hospital Association, the Florida Medical Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Hey, welcome back. We have a Battle of the Concessions coming up here on the show tonight. We also have more highlights to get to. Trinity Christian rolling tonight over Ribault. Bartram Trail has won 12-6. They double up Columbus out of Miami. St. Augustine winners over Menendez 44-0. Bishop Kenny 24-12 doubles up Inglewood. Middleburg has beaten Eastside 40-23. Rains 39. First Coast nothing. Just got this in from Southeast Georgia 51-18. Camden is beating Inlet Grove with a running clock late. Riverside 40-7 over Atlantic Coast. Paxson 21-14 over Wilson. Hilliard, big over Stanton, 51-2. Buchholz beats Sandalwood 28-7. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our analyst, Hall of Fame coach, of course, and used to coach at Atlantic Coast. Ed White, Jackson along the way. You got an update on Jackson at all, Coach?
No, that was the last one I got, 26-14.
Yeah, I've got some of these scores I haven't had updates on. Creekside over Nice still 23-20. Last check, Vieira over Baker County 32-28. That hasn't changed. Miami Carroll City over Oakleaf 30-27. Heck of a game there. Bishop Snyder losing 12-7. So that is the latest that we have. 26-14 Jackson over Providence as well. So we have a couple things in the works coming up here on the show. Let me make sure Casey's got his bearings. Casey, you want to go to coach or you want to go to committed or to the uncommitted? We'll hold off on committed to the uncommitted presented by Baker Sports for just a moment because we have O.J. Small in right now. Of course, Riverside Generals head coach gets a win over Atlantic Coast tonight, 40-7. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan here on the Blitz Scoreboard show on ESPN 690. Coach, nice win tonight. I was over there for a little bit of it. You guys were looking good.
I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Trying to get it going.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a kind of a defensive start to that game. And where did you guys turn it up a notch? When I left, it was 14-0. So that was, I think, deep into the second quarter. Where did you really start to turn it on?
I mean, we got a big play right before the half. The Al Gibbs had an 80-yard run with like 30 seconds left in the half. So, yeah, he scored right before half, making it about 22, I want to say 7. Came out the second half. Defense was playing hard all game. They ended up getting an interception for a touchdown with Messiah Wells. They kept making plays in the backfield, putting offense in a good position. And Kale Zara had a good second half as well. So, I mean, we put it all together. We put it all together, and, we ended up finishing strong.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, you guys, we were just talking about this. You guys can beat teams a lot of different ways. And speaking of a lot of different ways, you had Daniel Plummer in the first half. You go to Kale Zara in the second half. Was that planned? How did that work out? Was that circumstantial? What's up with the quarterbacks? You got two of them you can throw back there.
Yeah, we definitely have two right now. We're still trying to figure some things out. Both of them bring different things to the table. And we're trying to have some kinks out. So, but right now they're just competing. And we're trying to see which one could give that spark to the team. So once we figure that out, get it right there, we're going to run with it.
Coach Sullivan, take it away here with Coach O.J. Small. Riverside gets the big win, 40-7 over Atlantic Coast.
O.J., did you go in thinking maybe your size advantage? Because you ran the ball pretty effectively going in. We know about all your skill guys and everything, but your running back, people outside don't know about. And he had a pretty good game last week too. Was that something going in you felt you were going to be able to do?
We definitely thought we was going to be running the ball. Like I said, we have plethora of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Just, getting them going. And the way Al Gibson is running right now, he's running with the purpose. We're trying to light that fire behind that O-line as well. So we're trying to get them more aggressive. And it's working right now, So we're just trying to get it, everybody's playing with energy. We're trying to get a certain mindset as well. Right. And the kids, they're buying in right now. So I like where we're headed. And it's showing. We're trying to accomplish goals every week. So come Monday, when we go out of goals, let's see what we got, see what we left out there. And how we can fix it.
Now, go ahead. Sorry about that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just curious, Coach, are you going to be allowed on our show, or are we going to have to kick Kevin Sullivan off if by the end of the year? I mean, you played Jackson and Ed White. I'm not sure if you beat all three of his former schools, he's going to want to talk to you.
Hey, that's a good one, bro. That's my buddy over there. That's
a good one, but now that's a buddy right there for sure. Nothing personal at all. You know how it goes.
Hey, it's high school football, right, OJ? That's what it is.
There it is. So each game is different. That's why we put on the pad. So we see how it goes.
I said this earlier in the show, Coach, as you guys get the big win, 40-7. I really do think you guys can win a lot of different ways. You can be physical. You're super athletic. You can win a defensive battle. You can outscore people. I mean, do you feel that way too? I mean, you guys have, it might just be the way a game goes on a specific Friday night, but you look like you can win on a different style almost every Friday night.
Well, we definitely feel that way as coaches. We're just getting the kids to understand it and believe in it as well. They know we have talent. So my thing is, as all coaches struggle, just keeping them humble, keeping them working hard, fine-tuning on the little things. Like I say, we try to find something to push that offense each and every week. Because we tell them we can't, we can't just put everything on the defensive back, on the defense side, every game, because they playing tough. They playing some real hard football right now. And offense, once we start cleaning some things up, I think we will be able to put up a lot of points each game.
O.J. Small, appreciate it, man. We'll let you run. Thanks for jumping on with us for a little bit. We'll talk to you in the next couple of weeks here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. You got Revolt next week, so good luck next week.
Definitely appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you.
All right, thanks,
All right,
O.J.
OJ.
Small. And the Riverside Generals getting it done and using a multiple quarterback system, not in and out coach, by the way. That was first half, second half type of thing.
Yeah.
So he's letting those guys compete. We've talked about Kale Zara. I mean, he's very talented, but Plummer as well has had some nice moments here in the area, and now he's over at Riverside. So they've got two quarterbacks that can beat you.
Yeah. And the thing about like last week, it was series. It was like one went in a series and they moved the ball or didn't move the ball. Then the other one went in, and he's probably just trying to figure it out as they get into. And also, again, you get film on people. Now you might be preparing for two different quarterbacks, two different things going forward. So, it'll be interesting. We follow that as the year goes on.
All right. Hey, let's now do our committed to the uncommitted segment. We'll give you time, Casey. You just tell me when you got a chance to get it. Presented by Baker Sports. Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport. Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas, screen print, embroidery, and trophies, all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker Sports gets ready for your big game, looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports. Last week it was Tavio Toller, a running back out of Providence. This week it's Preston Strope, running back from Creekside. He is our committed to the uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports. Senior running back Preston Strope, 122 yards rushing last week. By the way, I was over there at the Nice game. He scored a touchdown tonight. He's been a touchdown machine in his career. Obvious some COVID impact on his recruiting the last couple of seasons. Talked to a coach down there at Creekside today. His quote was, "I love coaching him. High football IQ kid, good grades, maybe a little bit of a late bloomer for the collegiate level." Sometimes that happens, Coach. This is going to be a kid in Preston Strope, whoever gets him, wherever he lands, whether it's a Power 5, a D2, or lower FBS, D1. I think they're going to really love the fact that they got him, one of these late recruit guys.
Yeah, and the thing he does, he runs with really good pad level. He can be physical with you, or he can run away from you also. And he's been playing all 3 years down there, and it'll be interesting to see how his recruitment goes on. Running backs are so hard recruiting wise because there's so many of them. So he can catch the ball out of the backfield, like you said. Coach said he really loves coaching the kid, and that's a testament to that young man.
You just said something interesting. By the way, I mean, running backs are they kind of a dime a dozen? That makes it tough unless you really stand out and do something different.
Well, I don't know if they're a dime a dozen, but I think you've got to do something different before you can just say, "Oh, I'm a running back and I play here, I play there." You got to be able to catch the ball in the backfield. You got to be able to block. You got to help in the return game. You got to be able to turn kicks and punts too. Because any explosive film you get is only going to help the cause on it. You can't just say, "Oh, I just play running back, but I don't catch the ball out of the backfield," or anything like that. But this young man does all that because they throw a lot of screens and they do some different things with him.
Well, the cool thing about this guy, and I've been watching him a little bit over the years, and we have plenty of highlights of him, and you're watching some of them here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We call it Committed to the Uncommitted, brought to you by Baker Sports. He'll run over you. He can run around you. He can do a little bit of everything, but he's not afraid of contact. He likes that. And so they said to me today, like, if this kid ever gets a lead blocker in front of him, watch out. I'm not sure what he'll be able to do. So just depends. Like the examples they gave to me is like kind of that Boston College style. of offense, kind of nice fit, right? Iowa kind of feel to it, This guy wants to go run you over a little bit. So Preston Strope, committed to the uncommitted. The whole idea of this segment is to take a look at some of the kids in the area that might be overlooked and under-recruited because of COVID mostly. Coach, you're probably hearing a lot about that, right? I mean, it's a tough deal out there right now for seniors and even some juniors.
Yeah, and the thing that happened, and I don't know if you caught wind of this, but there's a big push now with the NCAA to add 5 more scholarships in the next 2 cycles because of the COVID year, because of letting those kids get that extra year. And they really want to do it. And from what I understand, reading on it and doing my research on it, is those 5 extra ones have to be high school kids, not JUCO kids, not transfers. They have to be high school kids, which would be awesome for everybody.
Yeah, that would be great. Committed to the uncommitted, a new segment here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show presented by Baker Sports. If you have a nominee, reach out to me. Let me know. We'll have one every week, and we'll try to get multiple kids on. We just want to highlight the kids a bit that are being under-recruited, perhaps, especially due to COVID-19 or maybe just in general. There's a lot of good football players here in Northeast Florida, a lot of good football coaches as well, and right now we're joined by one of them. Brian Braddock, St. Augustine coach, had to wait a little extra to get that season opener underway, and when they did, the Yellow Jackets looking good. 44-0 win over Menendez tonight. Coach Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show on ESPN 690. Congrats on the opening win of 21.
Thank you. High character kids that work really hard make you look like a good coach.
Well, that's all right. There's got to be a little talent down there in St. Augustine too, though, right?
No, that's what I mean. High character, talented kids that do the work. They make it easy for us coaches.
How was this week for you? I mean, those kids must have just been ready to go after having that game pulled from, I think it was like Thursday of last week, right before the opener. How was that?
Friday morning.
It was Friday morning?
Yeah. No, it was. I tell you, it was a really special week. I think this will be a week I'll look back on, hopefully after a long career, and I won't forget it because for by our standards, we had about 12 to 15 kids out in some capacity. Weren't permitted to get on the bus and go 2.5 hours, which was 100% the right decision because we had more kids sick over the weekend.
Right.
And we're out there at practice Monday and Tuesday with about 35 kids, which is not normal for us. And our kids just came, and we literally had one of the best weeks of practice I've ever been around. And it was inspiring, to be honest. And I knew no matter what happened tonight, you never really know. It was our first real game, so you don't really know how you're going to play. And I knew whatever happened, I knew we were going to be all right this year because of the character of our kids. And it was just a really special week. And obviously they were rewarded with a really good performance.
Before I let Coach jump in here, Coach Kevin Sullivan, what does that look like, Coach Brian Braddock? Like, why was it such a good week of practice? And how do you notice such a difference in, say, this week versus, in the past? You've been coaching a long time.
Yeah, so first off, there was the challenge of having, which we're not used to only having 35 kids. We used to have them between 50 and 60 out there on our varsity. So it's very easy to service yourself that way. It's very easy to not have to cross sides of the ball that way. Our starting nose guard, he played right tackle tonight because our right tackle's out. And he played both ways, and he did a tremendous job playing right tackle. And we had to kind of change the way we practice. We had to do more. We serviced each other, offense and defense, and we had to slow some things down. And our kids just had a tremendous attitude about it. We just said, look, we're going to figure out what we've got to do to be ready to play to the best of our ability. And heck, it was just a tremendous week of practice. And their demeanor and attitude about it, there was no – we went out to the practice field Monday and Tuesday without 3 or 4 of our absolute best players, leaders on our football team. And you would have never known the way we practiced. Tonight, I think on defense we had 5 starters not play. On offense, our biggest recruit, our right tackle, who's 6'4", 250, he didn't play. So it was just a great week and really, really inspiring to see kids who maybe don't get to play as much really have a great week and play great tonight. So it was a lot of fun from that perspective.
Coach Sully, take it away. I bet you can feel what Brian Braddock's feeling a little bit.
Yeah, Brian, do you think the kids realize how precious Friday night is now? I mean, it seems to me more than ever it's become what it's used to be, where it was the end, the be all end all. That's all. If you took a Friday night away from a kid, and because you had to discipline that, anything else, he'll run 5 million laps. But you took Friday night. Do you feel like the kids now, especially in this COVID, the last 2 years, realize how special Friday night is?
I think it had that effect on us, no doubt. I mean, we're fortunate that we've got some kids that we get to coach that just love football, and they love football, and that's becoming more and more rare. So when we had that game, we couldn't go play, and we were excited to go play a really good team. Yeah, I mean, it killed them. I mean, it was heartbreaking last Thursday night when I get a phone call from our starting quarterback, and I get a phone call from our best two-way player, and they're like, "Coach, I just got quarantined, like right now." And then on top of that, with other kids getting quarantined, kids getting sick, you know, the kids were kind of devastated. I mean,
right.
You know, you've worked for 4 years for your senior year. It's your first game. You're going to play a ranked team, and then you get an email. Sorry, you can't come to school tomorrow. Right. So that's brutal, you know. So
yeah, oh yeah.
Anyways, it was just and we talked about it before the game, and I was like, guys, you're going to be fine either way. The game's secondary. Like you're going to have disappointments in every facet of life, and you guys met this disappointment tremendously this week. And guys, that's going to happen in marriage. That's going to happen with kids. And I was just so proud of them. And then obviously tonight they had success on the football field through it, and that made it very rewarding.
Well, that's what it's all about in your profession, guys. Coach Sully, you know all about it. Brian Braddock, you do too. Congrats on the opening win. Good luck next week. We're going to have a lot more highlights from you guys. Your game of the week on the Friday Night Blitz on Fox 30 and CBS 47. Go have a good weekend, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend as well.
All right. That's Brian Braddock. St. Augustine wins 44-0. Let's go from coach to coach, and let's welcome in Tim Krause from Bishop Kenny. They got a win 24-12 over Inglewood tonight. 2-0 start for Tim Krause and the Crusaders. That is pretty nice and a good way to start 2021. Tim, thanks for joining us here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, Coach Kevin Sullivan. Nice W again tonight.
No doubt. Thanks for having me on.
How did it all go down tonight? 24-12 looked like that was pretty much of a dogfight early on, and then you were able to pull away.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the coaching staff at Inglewood, I can't say enough about them. They've done a great job with that program over the last couple of years, and you know, especially this year, they've done a really nice job. Their kids played really hard. Just really proud of our kids, especially our defense over the last couple of years. We've really struggled on the defensive side of the ball, and you know, to hold the team to 12 points and the one touchdown they scored early, they drove it right down the field. The second one was kind of a self-inflicted wound with a bad snap on punt. So just really proud of our kids, proud of how hard they played and how resilient they were, you know, both through the last 2 years in our senior class and what we have this year, and then also obviously as we start the season here.
Yeah, well, you got a sophomore quarterback who looks pretty good. He can get it done with his legs and the arm. Resar, how did he play tonight?
Played well tonight, yeah. Had 2 rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns, did a great job for us. You know, really still kind of maturing, growing into the position, and you know, it's always nice. Coach Sullivan will know that, and he had a bunch of these against us, but always nice when you got a kid that can bail you out with a big explosive run at some point. So he, you know, the times we were struggling the last 2 weeks, you know, needed a jump start. He's always been there to make a play. So really excited just for the future with him and watch him continue to develop.
Coach Sully, take it away.
Hey Tim, how you doing, buddy? Hey, listen,
great,
man. You I mean, just coming out after the last 2 years, and you knew going in it was going to be a rebuild and everything there and sort of getting things going. But to come out and be 2-0 after 2 games, it's really a good tribute to you. Tell me about some of the leaders. I know Tabor, you know, he can catch it and go anywhere on there. And that. Tell me about a couple of other kids that maybe people don't know about.
Sure. I can't say enough about our senior class and the kids that you know, in this day and age, you know, a rebuild is not always something that they want to hear. They're so quick to transfer out, find something new.
Right.
And these kids stayed and are just kind of the rocks of our program. And the 3 that I look at all the time, Baylor Newsom, just a stud. I mean, as a middle linebacker for us, you know, his sophomore year, he was 150 pounds. You know, he's turned himself into a 220-pound linebacker. Just incredibly physical, great leader for us, leader by example, great kid in the classroom. Great example in our school, runs the football for us in 4-minute offense. We need to grind it out. Had 2 big first downs for us tonight in that situation. Andrew Tabor, you know, plays in the slot for us, has kind of done everything. You know, move around, you know, on every special team, whatever we need of him. And then Brad Miller, you just talked about being selfless, was our starting quarterback last year, you know, and came to us willing to move and switch positions to, you know, because he knew what was best for our team. And that's can't say enough about those kids and what they've meant to me and meant to our program and going through some tough times and then coming out on the other side of it, hopefully.
Coach Tim Krause, appreciate it, man. Nice win over Inglewood tonight. Start 2-0. Good luck next week. We'll catch up with you as the season goes along on the Blitz Scoreboard Show.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
You bet. That's
All
Tim
right, Tim.
Krause, had Brian Braddock, O.J. Small as well. So we got some coaches calling in, Coach.
Yes, sir. We got them rolling in. I like it. I like it when they call in. I always feel good for those guys after that. So especially Tim, man. You know, they 1-9 last year and 1-9 the year before, and to be 2-0 with that group of kids, that's a real good tribute.
Yeah,
tribute to them.
My guess is, you watch some of these coaches come up as young pups. I mean, you got probably stories galore. You got to be careful not to tell everybody.
Yeah, well, Tim was there when John Walford. Tim was the offense coordinator for Mark Thorson all those years, and we were in the district. We had battle royals week in, week out, when we played them every year, and it was always quite entertaining and quite a good game to be a part of and stuff. So, you got a lot of respect for a lot of those guys. All three of those guys today, I've beaten and I've lost to. that we just talked to them, all three of them. I've beaten them and I've lost to them.
That's kind of the nature of it, right?
Yeah, it is. If you stay around long enough, it happens.
We're gonna go to a break in a minute, but how about Oakleaf, Coach? Miami Carroll City was up 30-13 when we got on the air an hour ago. We're gonna stay on until 10:25-ish. They're now up 40-30 over Miami Carroll City. I mean, that is a heck of a comeback. I mean, you talk about a kind of win that can really jumpstart you for the rest of the year. That Miami Carroll City team, now it's a good program up from Miami, and Oakleaf has really put it on them in the second half. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, too, being down like that to a really good team and being able to come back. That's a tremendous thing. That means if both those teams come up here, we'll count Oakleaf and Bartram as Duval, so that would be like North Florida 2 and Dade County 0 after those two wins.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can finish it out. So did you get the Fletcher final? Parker won 9-7.
Is that a final? Have late fourth quarter. Not a lot of scoring in that one, so that's a heck of a win for Parker, right?
Yeah, that's a great win for them after taking it on the chin last week to Lee. That's a really good win. They're probably up ready to play that.
Good bounce-back win there. Union County up 48-21 over Bradford, by the way. Charlton County up in southeast Georgia 33-0 over Long County. Sewanee on top of West Side 22-13 in the fourth. Oak Hall 12. Bishop Snyder 7 was the last score. Trinity Christian winning big 31-zip over Ribault. Let's see what else we have for you. Duval Charter over St. John's Country Day 40-6. And trying to get a couple of other updates. Rains wins over First Coast 39-0. Wow, how about this? This is a tough one for Mandarin. They lose 27-24 on a field goal late last week against Atlantic Coast, and they just lost to Spruce Creek after being up 14-6 in the second half. They lose 15-14, Coach.
Oh man, that's a tough loss for those guys. Again, with the young quarterback, it's all about a learning. So I'll hopefully get to watch that film and everything like that. I'll get a chance to look at that. But yeah, that's a heartbreaker for them to lose in that way.
And then Creekside wins 37-27 over Nice. That was a nice battle all night long. Vieira beats Baker County 31-22 is on our scoreboard. It must have taken a score off the board because I thought they had 28 points at one time. Bowles has beaten Columbia 34-7. So a nice win for the Bulldogs out there in Columbia. We're going to take a timeout. We come back. Casey at the concession stand. Battle of the concession stand. You got to take us through that, Casey. Plus, we'll have more scores. We'll try to get a couple more coaches on. A few more highlights here in the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Take you right up until the Friday Night Blitz. That's on the TV side on Fox 30 at 10:30, half-hour edition on the way in just a short order. But don't go anywhere. We've got you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We'll show you some highlights, some more features from the night, some more scores, analysis, reaction. It's all on the way with Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, Casey Kurtz here on a Friday night in September. A beautiful Friday it was. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
If you're anything like me, then cars were an important part of your childhood growing up. Literally, some of my very first memories involved helping my grandpa build old cars. If you're into cars, then you know that the technology is always evolving, which is why there is a demand for well-trained automotive technicians. As a student in the automotive technology program at JTech, you'll be learning basic automotive maintenance, diagnostic procedures, and effective repair methods while using testing equipment and specialized tools. The program also includes training on electrical, HVAC, engine performance, suspension, steering, brake systems, and transmission diagnosis and repair. Their shop settings are designed to represent the actual automotive environments that you will be experiencing when you get into the automotive industry. To learn more about JTech, visit jtech.org or call them at 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank to set up an appointment to tour the campus or get your questions answered. That's 904-483-9460 or visit jtech.org.
It's a national sales event at Arlington Toyota. Come shop over 700 new Toyotas and choose your way to save. Get interest rates as low as 0% on over 10 new Toyota models or enjoy no payments until 2022. Plus, with Arlington's 30-day exchange program, you get 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. And with every new car purchase, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Why wait? Shop the national sales event at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/August for full detail.
Happy football season. Oh, it's so good to have it back. What do you say we get a pint? You can do that at Calhoun's Irish Pub all football season at Atlantic Beach in the South Side. 2 locations. TVs to watch your favorite teams like the Georgia Bulldogs. Fish and chips, shepherd's pie. Plenty of food and drink while you watch football. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Calhoun'sIrishPub.com and try the new Five Sisters Vodka at happy hour. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and South Side. Calhoun's Irish Pub. Irish sass with 5-star class. Happy football season. Oh, it's so good to have it back. What do you say we get a pint? You can do that at Calhoun's Irish Pub all football season at Atlantic Beach in the South Side. 2 locations. TVs to watch your favorite teams like the Georgia Bulldogs. Fish and chips, shepherd's pie. Plenty of food and drink while you watch football. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Calhoun'sIrishPub.com and try the new Five Sisters Vodka at happy hour. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and South Side. Calhoun's Irish Pub. Irish sass with 5-star class.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, the Hall of Famer, with us here until 10:30 each and every week. Coach, you having a good one? You going to hit the beach all weekend probably, right? I mean, Labor Day weekend. I mean, you hit the beach every day. It's like every day's a holiday.
We might have a little cookout on Sunday here. I have some people over, just taking it easy. You know, don't have to get up and go to work, so I might as well do something like that.
Exactly what Coach Sean McIntyre wants to hear right now.
Yeah.
Someday, Coach, someday.
Yeah, and I'm a long way from that.
Hey, yeah, at least you're smiling tonight. You got a W, 37-27. That was a good game. These gave you everything you could handle, but a good win for you guys, 2-0 now.
Yeah, no, they did a great job. They scored on the last play of the game, and they scored on a long play in the fourth quarter. We were up 37-14 at one point and kind of took our foot off the gas, and hopefully lesson learned and it doesn't come back and bite us. And but our kids played really hard. Their kids played really hard. It was a really good high school football game.
Yeah, great atmosphere. I was down there for a little bit of it. Great crowd down there at Nice High School. Well, what do you like so far? I mean, you put up 37 points this week. You were all defense a week ago. How do you feel about your football team?
I feel great. We focused on that. On this week, we focused on that as we didn't execute very well in the red zone last week. We moved the ball okay, but then we didn't finish drives. And tonight we really put a focus on that this week, and we finished a bunch of drives. Our kids really responded at practice. We got tough, hard-nosed kids, man. They work really, really hard, and we've challenged them this week to execute better, and they surely did that.
Coach Sullivan, take it away for Coach McIntyre.
Yeah, so, Coach, you got a first-year kid playing quarterback for you, Jacob Denning. How's he been playing?
He really grew up tonight. He was a little bit gun-shy in the first quarter, missed a couple throws. But, he really grew up in the second half, put some balls on the money in critical situations, in tight situations, checked us out of some bad plays, just really grew up in front of our eyes. He's a kid that lives in our zone and decided to come to his home school. And if all the kids in our zone came to our home school, we'd be real tough to beat.
But there's a couple kids that are in our home school. They ain't feeling so hot tonight, but that's their decision.
Coach, Creekside Coach Sean McIntyre has a little bit of that going on just about everywhere. Creekside Coach Sean McIntyre off a 37-27 win. They go to 2-0 on the year. Right, earlier tonight, we did a new segment here on the show, Coach, called Committed to the Uncommitted. We highlighted Preston Strope. I saw him run over a defender tonight. Talk about Preston Strope, the senior running back. He's been fantastic over the years for you.
He has been. He's a 4-year letterman for us. Just really a kid that doesn't say much, but just is the epitome of a high school football player. Works every day, just works his tail off, shows up every single day, has never had a discipline issue, has never had an academic issue, just shows up, does what he needs to do to get better, to improve our team. And you know, the kids love him because they know that if they get there on a block, that he's going to run behind them and he's going to finish runs for them. And that run you saw tonight, he finished that run. That contact happened at about the 3-yard line, and he didn't slow down into the end zone. So our kids love blocking for him, and he loves the guys in front of him, and they have a great relationship. He's just a fun kid to coach.
Sully, take it away.
Hey, what about defensively now? I know Saturday night you guys played really well on defense. You've got the other Calhoun, right? He's a senior playing on a defensive end, I believe.
He plays D-tackle for us. He's our nose tackle kid. He does a great job, and we played really well defensively. They had 14 points at halftime, and they had 14 points deep into the fourth quarter, and we missed a tackle on Dom Henry's hitch, and he housed it. He's a tremendous, talented athlete. And then they scored on the last play of the game after we punted. We thought we could kneel it out, and they called a timeout. And, so you know, we played really well defensively. We've got a couple things to clean up. Coach Drafts does an unbelievable job with their offense, and that Marcus Stokes, golly, I mean, I told him after the game, I said, buddy, you can graduate early if you want, because he put some balls on the money to Grant Stevens and Dom Henry tonight that not many high school kids can make, and he's only a junior.
Yeah, so good stuff. Good game down there in St. Johns County. Coach, we appreciate you joining us. Got a good one next week, too, going to Fleming Island. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. That is Sean McIntyre, Creekside High School. I'll tell you what. Now, listen, I live down that area. Know a little bit about Creekside, but even before I knew a lot about Creekside, Sean McIntyre, you could tell he was flipping it. I mean, he has done a terrific job down there. There's a lot to catch up to with Bartram Trail, but and who knows where the gap is until they meet. Right. And now they're in the same district. But nobody would deny the job he's done, from winless to now you almost expect to win every night you go out there for Creekside, and they keep rolling it through and they keep building the program. You like to see that. And by the way, Colin Drafts at Nice is doing the same thing. I mean, he is definitely doing that same thing down there. I was told by somebody down St. Johns County it's very similar to what Sean McIntyre did at Creekside a few years ago, and it's starting to flip at Nice as well.
Yeah, and the thing about that Creekside now, and and he's done it. He plays all the big people now. He playing the Bartrams, and he's playing the Fleming Islands, and he's playing those teams and everything, and just the way they go about their business and their expectation on the field, off the field, in the classroom type of thing is really where it's really making it. And they're not a laughing stock of that county, that program anymore. And that's hats off to him and his staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, the coach here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Casey Kurtz is our producer galore. He does so much more. And tonight he started doing something that, well, we've never done on this show before. It's like, I don't know if we should call it Battle of the Concession Stands or Casey at the concession stands. Either way, both will hold true. You told us about the hot dogs last week, Coach, at Jackson, right? They're pretty good. We got to send Casey out that way. Known the hot dogs there at Jackson on Main Street.
Yeah, Carol's Meat Markets provides the hot dogs and hamburgers at the concession stand, and I think they're one of the best in the whole area, man. We love those dogs. I always try to get a couple. Took them home back there last year. I get my lunch for the week, but so I love the concession. That's like the greatest thing. So what'd you get tonight, Casey? What did you get? He got you an Oreo.
So I made. Sorry about that. I made my way out to Creekside because that's Sandalwood. Thank you. A lot of teams swirling in my head.
Yes.
Had a lot of good options: regular food, non-regular food, and I stumbled upon the snack food, as you should say. Found some fried Oreos. Found some, I guess, funnel cake bites, which was interesting. I think I had some for Brent.
Yeah,
What you got?
By the way, Coach, he brought me some. See, you're not in studio with us, but I've got like a fried Oreo and a funnel cake bite. And here's more from Casey at the concessions. # Battle of the Concession Stands. What you got out there, high school football concession stands? Here's Casey at Sandalwood.
Casey Kurtz, ESPN 690. We're out here at Sandalwood High School concession stand item of the week. My girl Stacy. Stacy, what's good here? What should I be eating?
Fried Oreos and funnel cake.
Fried Oreos, funnel cake. Which one's your favorite?
Oh, fried Oreos.
Fried Oreos? All right. I'm going to have to try the fried Oreos. Going to get the funnel cake bites as well. I guess we'll see what happens. We had to get back to the studio to get ready for the show tonight, but we have our food from Sandalwood with us. First off, we got fried Oreos. Let's see what we got here. I'm not going to lie to you, Brent. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Coach Sullivan, you got to try these next time you're at Sandalwood. But we didn't just go for the Oreos. We got the funnel cake bites as well. My girl Stacy, she said, "Do you want the works on there?" I said, "I don't know what that means, ma'am, but give me the works." So it looks like we got powdered sugar, chocolate, caramel, however you want to say it, to each your own, tomato. Let's see what we got. That's quality. That is quality. Oh, my goodness. Sandalwood, a good first week concession stand item of the week. Brent, you see the food is in studio. I'm not sure if it's going to be here when you get in, but, man, this is good stuff. Back to you guys.
So that is Casey. Well done, man. 2 different spots out at the game, here in studio. And by the way, Coach, I'm going to take a bite of this fried Oreo because it's pretty darn good.
I was going to say, I'm going to go to Sandalwood next Friday. I hope they're at home.
There's a reason why we call it fat ball season. And Friday nights are like one of the worst. You're eating at midnight and you're eating fried Oreos, but one of the worst means it's one of the best. So, here's the deal.
About that.
We got to get Casey, were they pretty nice to you, by the way? I mean, did you have to pay for that, pay double for that?
I had to pay, paid the money. Don't know if paid double or triple. I just said, let me get this. They said, let me get your cash. The money is green. I said, all right, it better be good. I said, it better be good then. And then wasn't too bad.
All right, so here's the deal. You got to let us know. What's the best concession item out there? I mean, I've been to a lot of different places. I mean, Baker County puts on a heck of a spread before the game out there. Coach talking about the Main Street hot dogs there at Jackson. We got fried Oreos at Sandalwood. Everybody's got to have a thing, right, Coach?
Yeah, Range got the chicken wings going over there. They got chicken wings going over that place. I used to try to sneak over there after the game and see if we'd win, they wouldn't give me, and if we lost, they'd give me some. So that's how I used to try to get that worked out.
That's how it goes, right?
Yes, sir.
It was a lot of pressure. Coach, what's your takeaways from tonight? I mean, Bowles comes away with a big win. Creekside with a nice win. We just had Sean McIntyre on. Brian Braddock, St. Augustine looked good in our game of the week. What is your takeaway? I mean, Riverside, we had O.J. Small on. They continue to cruise. It seems like some of the regulars are poking their head up early in the season saying, okay, we're back, folks. We're Trinity Christian. We're Riverside. We're Bartram Trail.
Yeah.
I mean, what catches your attention here in week 2?
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. The cream of who we thought were going to be good, they have not disappointed us in the first 2 weeks. Trinity's out the gate. Won a tough one last week to come out and blow out Rebolt tonight. Bowles, of course, is Bowles. They'll go anywhere, play at home, go on the road. They're going to do their thing. Bartram, really 2 really good games for them to open the season. Close fashion. Again, I think they're better on defense than they've been in a while, and they can carry them. Creekside, again, building his program to be an elite program. So, I think those are the teams that we like. And then you sprinkle in your Bishop Kenny off to a really 2-0, a really good start with them. And then it got a couple heartbreaks when Mandarin losing 2 heartbreakers back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, that's a good call right there. I mean, that's be a tough one. But again, young team, Bobby Ramsey, good coach. I always say Bobby Ramsey has his teams getting better as it goes along. You're watching Trinity Christian and Rebolt. Trinity Christian beats Rains Rebolt to start the year. This one a little bit more smooth for Trinity Christian, Coach. They blew them out 31-0 at last check was the score.
Yeah, they played really well defense. I think they scored twice on defense. We're watching the pick 6 right here, the one, and I think they had a scoop and score or a punt snapped over the head later on. So they are back in full go and full force. And with them being in 2A and then, the Bowls being in 4A, it's got some wide open things going on with us in our lower classifications.
All right. So, we'll see what else happens throughout the next couple of weeks. Let's try to give you some scores as we move into week number 3 and we get into September. I'll tell you what, I mean, September night can be super hot and humid. This was like mid-October kind of night, Coach. I mean, this was beautiful out there tonight.
Yeah, the weather, we won the weather tonight, not like last week, so we won the weather. So the weather is 1-1 right now going into week 3.
I got to tell you, like the weather is that, but at the same time, like where I went, the weather was fine last week. So for me, it's 2-0. It just depends where you were.
Right, exactly. It's where you're at. If you're south, some weeks it's better. If you're north, it's better. But no, tonight was a beautiful night. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than the night weather-wise.
Hey, Fleming Island beating Lake Mineola 6-0 at last check. Some of these scores are not updated. 26-14, it was Jackson over Providence. That's probably gone final now.
That's gone final. 46-14 was the final.
Oh, so they pulled away late. 46-14. Okay. That was 19-14, Coach. And then Jackson poured it on.
Yep, in the second half poured it on. It was 19-14 at halftime, and they probably wore them down a little bit. They've got a few more kids than Providence does, and ran away with it in the fourth quarter.
Sewanee beating Westside 29-13. Riverside over Atlantic Coast 40-7. We mentioned Paxson beats Wilson 21-14. Hilliard 51-2 over Stanton. Buchholz beats Sandalwood 28-7. Ponte Vedra 34-0 over Episcopal. Rains 39-0 over First Coast. We got some blowouts tonight. Orange Park 38, Ridgeview 7. Spruce Creek scores 9 unanswered and beats Mandarin 15-14. Bartram Trail with a nice win over Columbus out of Miami 12-6. St. Augustine 44-0. We're about to show you highlights on the Friday night blitz of that one. We'll have some reaction as well. That was our game of the week down there in St. Johns County. Bishop Kenny doubles up Inglewood 24-12. Terry Parker 9, Fletcher 7. Nice win for Terry Parker. Good defense for them. Bishop Snyder loses to Oak Hall 28-14. University Christian wins over Zephyr Hills Christian 34-13. And, Coach, it's gone final. Oakleaf over Miami Carroll City 40-30. What a win for Oakleaf. Again, they were down double digits, and they come back by my count and score 27 unanswered to beat Miami Carroll City at home.
Yeah, that's a great win for them. I don't know if they pictured that coming into the game tonight, but, boy, that's a really big win. That one surprised me more than any of them tonight, Brent.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Baker County loses to Vieira 31-22. Keystone Heights 38-0. Eustis 31, by the way, over Bell. Eustis 31, Palatka 28. That was a good football game down there in Palatka. Nice loses to Creekside 37-27. Middleburg 40-23. So those are some of the scores. 40-23 over Eastside, I should say.
And they're off to 2-0 start at Middleburg, first time in probably forever. They're off to 2-0.
Yeah, that's a very nice start for Middleburg. So, hey, that's fun. We do it each and every week here on the Friday night coverage of the Blitz Scoreboard Show. 9 to 10:30, that's Kevin Sullivan, the Hall of Fame coach. Thanks to all our guests that joined us. Committed to the Uncommitted, brought to you by Baker Sports as well. We got Casey at the concession stands. I'm chomping on a fried Oreo, and now I got to go do TV on the Fox 30 on the Friday Night Blitz. Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, Olivia Tasley, our entire Action Sports Jacks team will have it covered. Flip on over to TV. You can go back and watch this on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can also watch it each week on Twitch, and you can listen on ESPN 690 in your car, ESPN690.com, and all the other places where you get this radio station. But we invite you to watch the show because we're rolling some highlights along the way on social media. Coach, have a great holiday weekend. Thanks for joining us. Great job. Can't wait to do it again next Friday.
All right, we'll talk to you all later.
All right, Casey, nice work. That's going to do it for the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We will be on TV in just a couple minutes on the Friday Night Blitz on Fox 30. Hope you can join us in a few. Weekend, everybody.